Hello, everybody, and welcome back to yet another episode of Daddy Daughter Dishes. I feel like I should say point two because we were talking up a storm and realized we were not recording. So we're gonna.
That takes me back already to the was it the last episode that we?
No, the one before that, where you talking about? Hold on, I can't hear you.
Yeah. Here it is. You making fun of me now. We talked for 5 whole minutes, and Kiara hadn't pushed the record button.
I said, you know what? I was looking at the time, and I was like, we say record.
We lost the whole segment because she didn't push record.
Hey, but it's okay because we gonna talk about it again because you got a little more energy now. So we gonna pop in. But first, let me introduce the podcast. Let me introduce.
Put it on me, huh?
No, I'm going to lead you into it like I did last time. I got you. I ain't going to leave you out to dry. So welcome to Daddy Daughter Dishes. If you are new here, I am the daughter, Kiara. He is the dad, BJ. And on this BJ. And on this podcast, we talk about a lot of stuff. We talk love. We talk growth journeys. We talk pretty much everything that you can think of. We kind of go off the dome. And we have a good time over here. And so...
What?
Is there an echo?
Is
there an echo? It's okay. It's okay. 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 So, this is episode 4, you guys. Very excited for this. So, Dad, how you doing today? I interrupted your session. How was that?
It was good. I had a good therapy session. Unloaded some stuff that has taken place over the last 2 weeks. Got some direction on some other things. I'm feeling really good, feeling a little light, like some stuff been lifted off my chest, feeling encouraged about some moves I need to make going forward. So yeah, I'm in a good space. I'm a little upset, not upset, but I'm a little disturbed right now because these people at work talking about coming to work, be ready for some possible storm work in the morning because we got some weather coming in. So I got plans this weekend. My cousin is throwing my uncle. Actually, he's the patriarch of the Nelson family right now, Uncle Earl. Yep. And she's throwing him a birthday party Saturday, and I got plans to go up there and see him and see them. So yeah, I was excited about that. But if this weather gets too crazy, I may not get to go. So we gonna just wait and see and play it out from there. But other than that, I'm feeling bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for asking about me.
Hold on now, slow down. Hold your mule now. Hold your mule. How are you feeling? I know yesterday we were supposed to record, but you sent me a text message saying that you weren't feeling the best and you were kind of sporadic in your feelings. You really couldn't pinpoint what was going on, but you knew there was several things going on. So how are you doing today?
Today was a good day. In words of Ice Cube, today was a good day. Yesterday was rough though. I don't know why or what was the cause. I think my body's a little tired because of the upcoming time change, but it's just it was just like all my switches wasn't on yesterday. Like I went through work kind of like in what I would call zombie mode. Left work. If you would have asked me to recall what I did at work, probably couldn't tell you. And then when I got home, I just felt depleted. And I sent you that text. I hated to send that text because I was definitely looking forward to recording. And then I couldn't figure out what was wrong. I cried and CJ was asking me do you want to talk about it? And I was like, I don't even know what to talk about. I'm just feeling emotions right now. And I know I have all this stuff going on and I feel like all of that is piling on top of each other. And then it was this one thing that just pushed me over the edge. my freaking computer had crashed, and I was like, you know what? I'm tired of it, and I was crying, and then I couldn't figure out what was crying, so I was crying some more. It was just a lot, and I didn't want to come on this podcast, on this good energy, good vibe podcast with them bad vibes, because that's not me.
Well, so I'm sure that our fans, our loyal listeners.
Yo, don't say fans. I don't like that word.
I'm sure that our loyal listeners and supporters would have understood and do understand, and I'm sure they appreciate you not bringing less than the energy that they deserve. So yeah, thank you for that, because I feed off of you. So if you bring in low energy, then we screwed.
But you said you was feeling some type of way when I sent you that text, though.
Man, look,
get it together. You was finna go daddy mode on me.
Huh?
You was finna go daddy mode on me, like you better suck it up, put your headphones.
No, I wasn't gonna do that, because you know when my babies ain't feeling right, you know that affects me. So I don't like the fact. I don't like it when you're not well, you or Mari, when y'all tell me y'all not feeling well and not doing well, that affects me. But on top of that, you know, I enjoy doing this podcast. Like I really enjoy it. So after we record one, every part of my next day is thinking about the next one. So it's a whole build up. And when yesterday, before you sent that text, I was so excited. I was ready to get on here and just, you know, talk like we do our thing. And when you sent that text, boy, it's like, if I was a balloon, I would have been like,
I would have popped it. Oh, you was like a little boy waiting for his daddy come pick him up, take him to the fair, and he don't ever show up.
Yeah.
Then my daddy picking me up this weekend. Yeah, his dad said, I can't make it.
He ain't even say nothing. He ain't even say nothing. The dad just didn't show up.
He's just running a little late.
Yeah.
It's nighttime. He's not coming.
It's tomorrow, and the little boy's still out. Polo tink.
Polo tink. Well, we are here now, and we are ready to have yet another amazing, fun, exciting show. But we did want to kind of, you know, we talked and we was like, you know, we've been digging a little too hard lately. We're a little deep in the hole. We got a little too deep the past few episodes. They've been a little bit heavy, you would say. So, you know, we want to go on a more lighter note. Last episode, we talked a lot.
Yeah, we talked
usually do. We did. We ended it talking about some good old sports. Well, we ended it actually talking about cars, but before that, we ended it talking about the Super Bowl and the Black history and all that good stuff. And I know you thought that it would be pretty cool to have a conversation kind of centered around our, you called it what, sports and educational academic achievements or something?
Just kind of like our journeys. Like I was an athlete, and you are a self-proclaimed nerd. So I just kind of just kind of wanted to touch on some stuff, some of our experiences, some of our accolades, so to speak, some of our accomplishments, just, you know, share some of that stuff with the people, and maybe get a good laugh or two, find out some interesting stuff.
As we tend to do on this podcast.
Yes. And yeah, did we want to talk about some like reviews from the last that we've gotten since the last?
Did you want me to touch on those now, or I can touch on them? You got some reviews?
I can do some paraphrasing about a couple.
You could share some, and then I'll share some at the end.
Okay. We're gonna do it at the end?
You could do yours now if you want.
Oh no, I was okay. Well, I know I saw Mr. Mac. You call him Mr. Mac. I saw him over the weekend, last weekend, and I told him about the podcast, and he was like, you know, Mac, I never be Drake. What? He said, what? He said, what is it? What is it called? I said, Daddy Daughter Dishes on. He said, where can I find it? I said, on YouTube, Mac. He went right. I don't know if he went right in the house But I mean, it wasn't like 2 days later. He sent us a nice little message on the YouTube. He put a comment out there saying that he loved it and he learned a little something about the Black History fact that I presented, and he really enjoyed it. Said he was gonna be tuning in as we go forward.
Yep, he said, I enjoyed you all. I laughed on some of the comments, and I must say I gained some knowledge. I had no idea a Black person contributed to the refrigerated trailers. I now also know who CJ is, which is hilarious because he was at the engagement barbecue. I will be checking in from time to time. Good luck, father and daughter.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mr. Mac, man.
Yeah, Mr. Mac has been a staple in my life for, a long time, because I know he was a foreman down at Burkhart Foam, which was a factory down in Cairo when I was growing up, and Dad Far used to drive semis down there, which, like, growing up, you had people that lived where we live. You either worked at Procter & Gamble in Cape, or you worked at Burkhart Foam in Cairo before it closed. And those were pretty much two of the main employers for people that grew up in our area where I grew up. So shout out to Mac. It was always good seeing Mac. I love talking with Mac every time I see him.
Me too. He been a staple in my life too, like one of like the 6 degree of separation staples, because he just always bring good vibes anytime he come around, and hearing him talk like you just impersonated him, that was pretty spot on.
Very, very supportive too. He supports.
Super supportive. And he has a great daughter of his own.
Shout out to Cricket.
Shout out to Cricket. She's amazing as well.
That was the Maryland crew that I spoke of when I said we were coast to coast, when I limited us to borders. That was the Maryland crew.
Cricket, funny side story. I don't know if I told you this, but did you know that her husband sold my friend's house?
Yeah. Don't you remember you sent me a picture of his picture on the real estate sign in front of the house? Yeah. And I sent it to Cricket. And I was like, look what Kiara just sent me. And she was like, well, I'll be damned. Like, it was wild. Just out the blue.
It was so weird because I'm looking and I'm like, I know this name sounds familiar, and I know his face. I was like, wait a minute. Cricket, this your husband. I'm like, this is such a small world. That's crazy. Yeah. I was like, man, you'll never believe this. But that man, I know him. But yeah. Shout out to Mr. Mac and all his supportive family, and he brings all the good vibes, always leaves us with that good, warm feeling. And it was a little, I ain't gonna lie, I got a little emotional reading it, just because in a sense, it was kind of like an extension of what I thought maybe Fari would say about the podcast.
Yeah.
And so it was cool to just to see his comment, and I just kind of connected. I was like, Fari would probably have said something like that. He would end it with like, love Fari. Like, didn't know it was him commenting. But but that just really reminded, that tugged on a heartstring a little. So I was like, oh, Mr. Mac, thank you. Like, some people's words just mean a lot. They carry a lot of weight.
He is definitely one of those people. I have much respect for Mac over the years. Like, that's been a good dude.
Yes, but we are now about to talk some good old sports.
Well, I had the idea to talk about sports in education because, I was an athlete, and, you was predominant in education. Like, you was a learner. You played some sports.
Hey, now, I was an athlete too.
I'm saying, you played some sports. You did some volleyball. You did upwards basketball.
I did a lot of basketball.
You ain't do a lot.
Now, was I good at it?
You ain't do a lot of basketball.
I was on the team.
What
and then
team?
I was a cheerleader. Century.
Kiara, when you was on Century basketball team?
I played middle school basketball. Brett Miller was my coach.
I don't remember that. That's a daggum shame too. Why I don't remember that?
I mean, I wasn't that good. You know, that's when I was like,
no. When you was in upwards, you was a baller. I remember taking you when we was living in Metropolis. We was on that court,
basketball court, and not letting me leave until I made a freaking basket.
You can't leave the court on a miss.
Put your hand in the cookie jar.
In the cookie jar, baby.
Put your hand in the cookie jar. You know, I still do that. I'm like, cookie jar.
Hey, that was it.
That could have been a scene in a movie right there. Like, that was our. If I would have made it to the WNBA and I had like a biography or a biopic written about me, that would be like one of the scenes. I'm like, I'm sick of this. You're like, do you want to be great? Do you want to be great? You know what I say? What do I say? Don't leave on a mission. Well, come do it. Okay. And then fast forward 30 years, I'm in the WNBA. Well,
oh my goodness. No. You just took that way too far.
Hey, I'm just saying that was a very staple moment in my memory.
And you know, I never wanted to be that psycho dad, even though I probably had the potential to be the psycho dad in the stands or on the sidelines, just harping, mugging my kid from the side. Just, you know, I'm fucking you up when you get to the house. You missed a free throw, like, I mean, I've seen some of them psycho dads in our little area, and it's like, what is wrong? I saw a guy, he used to sit on the bleachers and he would hit the top row of the bleachers, and it had like the brick wall. I seen him he used to hit his head on the damn wall when his son would be out there fucking up. And
y'all better watch.
Yeah, that was traumatic to even see. But the reason I wanted to talk about sports is to try to lighten things up, just like we have been doing, like laughing a little bit, talk about some experiences and what motivated us as individuals and things that we were good at. For those who don't know, I was pretty good in high school.
Almost to the NBA.
No, I ain't almost went to no NBA. No.
That's what everybody say. You know that though.
Never.
You could have been playing for
you know, and I tell people this all the time. Like, you hear the guys that make it to the league, they say this was a dream come true. And I always say, I always look back and I'll be like, that was never a dream of mine to make it to the NBA. It was never a dream. And looking back, it's probably why I didn't make it. Like, my goal, I remember in high school, I remember sitting on the couch talking to a girl on the phone, and she was talking some weird shit, talking about a life together, and I'm like, dude, I'm in high school. Like, I'm trying to focus on basketball because I want to go to college, and my parents, and I knew my parents could not pay for me to go to college. Pause. What did you think I was gonna say?
You said, I don't know what you said. I'm trying to focus, but you held and I was like, damn, you gonna say that on the podcast?
You thought I was saying I was trying.
I thought you were trying. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like, wait a minute, Benjamin.
Kiara.
Y'all ain't shocked. I am shocked.
Don't make shocked and appalled.
All episodes of the first few episodes of Daddy Daughter Connection.
I am shocked.
Anyways, parents couldn't pay, so
my parents would not be able to finance me to go to college. So in order for me to go, I had to figure out a way to get there. And I made up my mind that basketball was going to pay for my education. And that's what I decided to partake in order to do so. So I was pretty good in high school. I could jump. I had some exciting moments in high school. May end up making I think I got honorable mention All-State. But the year my senior year, man, Southern Illinois was loaded with talent. Like, we had some hoopers from Darren Brown and Meridian. You had Tyrone Nesby, who went to the NBA. He was down in Cairo. You had Donald Davis, Marcus Pruitt, Dorian Triplett, and Billy Ross, all that Egyptian.
Them are some names right there. That sound like some 90s basketball.
Hey, I'm talking about, and then at my school alone, you had me, you had Pud, you had Rodney, you had Deshaun Harris. We had, any one of those guys could have. Deshaun went to play D1 basketball. Pud went on to play. We played at JUCO a year after high school, and then Rodney stuck to baseball. That was his sport.
Yep.
But we had a loaded team. If our junior high, like in junior high, when we played, God rest his soul, Bob Murley was our coach, and in 2 years, I think we lost 2 games, and one of those games was in the state tournament. I think we lost our first game of our 7th grade year, and we didn't lose another game until we got to the state tournament of our 8th grade year. So we went,
wow.
Yeah, and we ended up getting 3rd in state in junior high. And I said, to this day, if Coach Murley had followed us to high school, we would have brought Century a state championship. That's how good we could have been. But we had a yeah, the state tournament, we got 3rd in middle school. Actually got 3rd place in state in baseball and basketball in junior high school. Yeah.
Oh, y'all was just racking them up.
Yeah, we had some.
Y'all said what sport? Football? We don't have that, but we got everything else.
We didn't have football. I tried to Coach Woods down in Cairo. Shout out to Coach Woods. Boy, he used to be on me. Like, boy, I need to get you out there on that football field. And I wanted to play too. I actually tried to get it arranged for me to go down there because they had a couple kids from Meridian that got to go play football at Cairo at the time, because Cairo was the only school that had a team. But they wouldn't do it for the kids at Century. I don't know why, but it didn't happen. What else? At baseball, basketball.
Well, you mentioned everybody else went to college for those sports. You went to college for those sports?
Yeah, I did. It's hard. Man, I don't be liking talking about myself, so it's kind of
let me
weird.
kick it off. Let me kick it off, y'all. So, don't remember how old I was. I want to say I was about 9th, 10th grade. Like, I was thinking about college, but college wasn't really at the top of mind. And so one day my daddy puts me in the truck and we drive down to UT Martin, which is where you went to school. And you was showing me around campus. They was doing like some construction work. He was like, yeah, this used to be that. And this used to, what you do when you go visit a college campus. So we go to Wendy's and we're in Wendy's and this guy comes up and he's like, are you BJ Nelson? And I'm like, oh my God. And I used to watch you play ball. I loved you. Blah, blah, blah. You used to play with so-and-so and so-and-so. And I'm just sitting here like, we're in the middle of nowhere. And this man just walked up to my dad and asked him his correct name. And then he left. And I was like, oh, you almost famous.
And you know what? I said that on the other episode that my business manager at my union hall gave me that name. And that was so incorrect. My daughter gave me that name, almost famous. My business manager, he hyped it up because that's what he used to call me when he see me when I got into the apprenticeship. He's like, that's almost famous right there. Almost famous. I'm like, because I had it on my voicemail greeting on my phone.
And it was your signature for a while. I think I had said it as your if people had cool signatures. I think I said yours is almost famous with the @ sign and an exclamation point and an M and a 0 and a $sign.
And I remember like walking when we was living in Metropolis. I remember on several occasions walking through the mall and people coming up to me and recognizing me, and you would say it then, that Daddy almost famous.
Famous.
And then when you went to Carbondale for something, and you was getting some food in the cafeteria, and one of the cafeteria workers was like, "You BJ Nelson's daughter, ain't you?"
Yeah, that was weird. And I forgot about that until you said it. But that's still weird to me. People, you BJ or it's either you BJ Nelson or you ken to them Nelsons.
Oh, well, you got the features. Can't get by that. Yeah. From day one.
just to cheese it. But yeah, dude, you was almost famous. What led you to be so recognizable? Did you take your talents from middle school all the way through college?
No, we was, like I said, we were pretty good. I was pretty good. Let people say I was pretty good. Ended up after high school playing junior college basketball at Shawnee Community College, and it was like Coach Bicey, Jim Bicey, who coached there at the time. He actually coached my brothers there. They went to the national championship tournament in 88, 89, I think, because your Uncle Bob and Uncle Dave both was on that team.
Oh, wow.
I played hooky from school to go to Saginaw, Michigan, and watch them play. Yeah, that was fun.
Hey, did you really live in Southern Illinois if you ain't skipped school to go to a regional state or something?
Yeah, or hunting.
No, look, you get off for that now. They do.
Yeah, you get a whole day. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, and so Jim Bicey, he like took it upon himself to recruit local talent. So he ended up getting me and Pud went to Shawnee from Century. Dorian, Donald Davis, and Marcus Pruitt came from Egyptian, and we had our own little like dream team. And then we had a couple guys from Bernie, Missouri, a set of twins, Shane and Sean Green. Boy, when I tell you, them two boys was some gym rats and could shoot that ball like Steph Curry shoot it today. I remember, this is how crazy Coach Bicey was. Coach Bicey told us before the season started, he said we need to get tougher. Like, what do you mean, Coach? We already tough. No, you guys need to get tougher. He packed us up on the practice bus on this van. We didn't know where we were going. We didn't even know we was going to go play some basketball. This man takes us to the medium security prison in Vienna for basketball practice. He said we needed to get tougher. So he took us to the prison.
Convicted felons.
And hey, I tell you, we get in that place. You had them, some dudes was hollering fresh meat, and they testing our pimping. So we in there, we young, we like shit. We here to hoop, y'all be on that other mess. I mean, we wasn't like that, but we was scared, but we was scared together. And I think that built some camaraderie with us. But when I tell you, when that little makeshift game started, them prisoners had a dude on. I never seen a shootout like this in real life. So you had Sean Green. It was Sean or Shane. I think it was Sean. Sean that boy could shoot. And this dude from the prison, I don't know his name, but them dudes was going back.
Inmate number 727340.
I don't know what his inmate number was, but that man could play some basketball. I think Sean might have had about 48 points at the end of that scrimmage. And I know dude probably had about 60 because he was the only person on their team scoring. And yeah, that was a scrimmage to be remembered.
I wonder how that process works. So you just pull up to the prison and say, "Hey, I got some weak people back here."
No,
or do you know somebody in the prison who says, "Oh, they here to visit," and then they say, "Go hoop."
No, Jim Bicey. You got to understand, Jim Bicey was a coaching legend in Southern Illinois.
So it's probably an honor.
The gym at Meridian High School, I think, is named after him because he coached down there for a shit forever before he retired and then started coaching at Shawnee years later. So he is a legend. He is a legit legend. So I'm sure he knew. I'm sure that we wasn't the first team he took to that prison to practice. Uncle Bob and them went up there. I think they might have gotten into a fight. If I'm not mistaken, I'm going to have to check that with him. I think they went up there and almost got into a scuffle because they had some. And look, that team Uncle Bob they had some dogs on that team, boy. And I don't mean they had some boys on that team that should have been in the prison.
They don't play fair.
But they had some hoopers. Them boys were some hoopers, and they went all the way to the national tournament for their class in junior college. They have some good players on their team. We had some good guys. We had a couple guys from Missouri, Al Jefferson. A couple of other guys from Kentucky. We had some pretty good guys on our team too, but we didn't quite make it that far in JUCO. So after 1 year in junior college basketball, I pulled a LeBron. After 1 year, I decided to take my talents.
Taking my talents to UT Martin.
To the University of Tennessee at Martin. And the crazy part about that is, I didn't know nothing. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know the process. I didn't know the recruiting process or none of that stuff. Oh. So I went in and talked to Coach Bicey. I said, man, these people. Now, mind you, remember what my whole goal was. My whole goal was to get a free education. So the UT Martin was on me hard. They was like, hey, we got you full ride. You come down here. You go to school, and nobody in my family knows this process. So who I'm going to go to? I'm going to talk to my coach. I go talk to Coach, and I'm like, Coach, I need your help. He's like, what's going on, Nelson? I said, Martin, they gave me an offer. They want me to come down there and play ball for them. First thing I'm like, you ain't going to win. You go down there, you ain't going to win. I'm like, Coach, I need your help. I need your guidance, man. My parents don't know nothing about this stuff. I said, help me out, man. Give me some guidance. Right. All I can tell you is you ain't gonna win. Go down there, Nelson, you ain't gonna win. I was so pissed off. I told my teammates this because they didn't know that I went and talked to Coach 2 years later. I just left. I said, fuck it. I was mad at Coach. I said, I'm not playing for this bastard no more. And I left. I went to Martin. And I really didn't tell my teammates. They did not really know until the next school season started. And they was like, where BJ at? And I was like, shit, BJ at Martin.
And then Martin to get his education paid for.
And I also did it for another reason. My cousin Pud, Gator Jones is what I call him, because I called him Pud on the last episode, and he chewed my ass. He said, boy, he said, man, I ain't heard you call me Pud in years. My name Gator Jones. So
Gator
Jones. He
your finger, you make a noise with your finger, I think. Yeah, I'm hearing
that's
that.
Joe. I get that from Joe Madison.
That's gonna be hard to edit out.
You ain't gotta edit it out. Why you interrupting my story, man?
Because it's distracting. So if it's distracting me, I know it's distracting the listener.
It's not. They are compelled to listen to this story because I'm talking about Gator Jones right now. Anyway.
Okay, talk about Gator Jones.
Gator Jones was probably the most talented basketball player in Southern Illinois. And that's saying a lot. During our time, because like I just told you, we had a guy who was a year, maybe 2 years, Tyrone. I think he might have been a year younger than us. He went to the NBA. He ended up going to he went to Vincennes, and then he went to Louisville first. Then Vincennes, made his way to UNLV, and then the NBA. I think that was his path. I may be wrong. Somebody can correct me, but at the end of the day, he made it to the NBA, and we played against him. Went heads up. I remember a game in high school. Tyrone had 30 points, 20 rebounds, like 6 dunks. I had 26 points, 15 rebounds, and 5 dunks. Like, we had some battles on the court. So I went heads up with him. But Pud, Gator Jones, had some games when he played JV ball where he was scoring 40 points, breaking presses. He was a one-man press breaking machine. He was that ambidextrous. He could do things with the ball. He could control his body in midair. I say that to say this. Another reason I decided to leave Shawnee was to make more room for him to get more playing time. In my head, that's what I was doing, getting out of the way for him so he could shine. And I don't know what them boys did. I know they ended up doing pretty good after I left, but when I went to Martin, I kind of just shied away from all of that.
Did he know that that's one of the reasons that you left?
I think we talked about it, but he probably don't remember the conversation.
That's a pretty humble move.
But you know what? Pause on my life for a second. Let's talk about Kiara and her journey up to a certain point.
Athletic journey?
Athletic, education. You was a beta club fucking legend at Century.
Look, let me tell y'all. Successes, athlete, I don't know if this count, but me and Mommy was talking about this earlier. I used to do dance, and I was in jazz, ballet, and tap. And I used to have all my little programs, and I used to be looking fly. And if I could find some pictures, I had this cute leotard.
The black
I had the red one, the bright red one with the gold. And I had the black one with the sparkles. It was like bell bottoms. So that was really fun. Daddy had been saying, when your family does something routinely, everybody expects the next to do it. So everybody, that Nelson, she gonna play, basketball. I was like, I don't want to. I don't want to, but I think I'm going to have to for a year or so. I'm going to have to show Daddy I really don't want to do this. And so I was on the team. It wasn't good. I wasn't not good, but I didn't care enough.
You didn't even try.
So, yeah. So when I did try, it was cool, but I was like, I don't really want to do this and I'm not having fun. So I'm not going to force myself to carry on the Nelson name, quote unquote.
And what pause? What did I used to always tell you? I never tried to. I used to tell you, if you gonna play, then I'm gonna try to teach you everything I know. But if you decide you don't want to play, then I'm not gonna push you, because I think that's the worst thing a lot of parents do with their children, is push them into sports, and the kid really ain't feeling playing that sport. I mean,
especially when they're projecting some sort of success, like I almost went to the NBA, so you need to play extra hard so you could go. Like that, just your kid is not an extension of you.
I've seen so many kids in that situation. They absolutely hate the sport that they're playing, and you see the parents in the stands. They got their little notebooks keeping track of stats and stuff for their kid. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you can't even enjoy your child.
Having fun.
Yeah,
your child is miserable.
Yeah, it was terrible.
And you thinking of a Facebook post to make about them tonight. That's
and back in my day, wasn't even no Facebook around. They just out there and then calling in the stats to the local newspaper.
I was going to say, they going to send it to Monday's Pub. What's the name of the newspaper? Monday's
Pub. Yeah.
Yes. But I was not the best at sports. I did play volleyball in high school, which was I love volleyball so much. I wasn't super good at it. I wasn't super bad at it. I was a team captain. I kept that energy. But then I kind of dealt with, I don't even know if you would call it a sickness. Like I used to have these episodes, where I would have these terrible migraines and I could hear lights buzzing. So anytime we went to play, like I would just, I don't know, like it was like I would come out of my body and my body would have an episode, and I'm like, I hate doing this every game, but I want to play and I just can't, and it's really frustrating.
Yeah,
I know a few times I know we ended up going to like the hospital, because like gyms like Egyptian and I want to say Cobden, like they used to have these certain lights. In those lights, I just knew if I had even the smallest headache that day, I knew that it was not going to be a good day. And sure enough, I would end up seeing stars, and then next thing I know, my head feels like it's about to explode. Anyway, all that to say, even though I did enjoy volleyball, I don't feel like I got the fullest experience, given that our program was we were relatively new. We were still learning a lot, and when we did have the opportunity to improve, we did go to camps and stuff. So I had a good time, and I was able to see the progress of putting in hard work to a sport, which it did teach me a little bit of, that dedication and that drive, not giving up just after one game. We might have lost a few, but we did actually, we won regionals.
Y'all were regionals a couple times, didn't y'all?
Yep, we beat Egyptian. I scored the game-winning point. I remember that. I had tipped the ball over Keela, tipped it right over her, and we won. And we got smacked at his dates, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, good job. Century was outclassed in volleyball. Century's actually outclassed in a bunch of sports because they do some weird stuff down there as far as coaching, and yeah, it's just weird. It's always been weird, especially when you got coaches' sons and relatives on on the team.
Anyways.
It just gets real
weird. Yeah.
I'm just saying, it just gets real
nepotism. That nepotism can sabotage a whole team.
Yeah, so I mean, that's not the rag on. That's the way they do things down there. Hey,
no, it's true. I mean, if you're listening, you know, probably know. So look, once I realized that sports was not my field, I shifted my focus and I went more towards the educational.
Can I get a pause?
You could get a pause.
Let's get a pause. I want to go back and talk about those episodes you used to have and how they used to affect your family. Those were some of the scariest situations to have experienced, to be in the stands and you see a kid out there, doing her best, trying to keep some good energy, trying to stay focused, and all of a sudden she's crying and there's nothing you can do except go down there and grab her, ask her what's wrong, and she just in so much pain, and you just feel helpless as a parent because there's nothing you can do to help your child. That's one of the most, I know it used to drive your mama crazy.
I used to hate it for her. I used to hate it for her.
Because she was
I was like, can you not even come? And we would go, remember the Cobden game? Hopped in the car, drove me to hospital, urgent care, whatever. But I was like, this is so just debilitated. Like,
So that, like, as far as your mom, the things with you being born with that hole in your heart, she was a little more overprotected, and being her firstborn. So, naturally she's overprotective, but when you have that hole in your heart and then you grow up, you get past that, and then you start playing sports. Even when you was playing t-ball, we always had that thing about, if she got that heart condition, it could come back at any time or whatever. So your mom couldn't really she would enjoy the games, but in the back of her head, she was always thinking about, my baby might fall out or something might happen to her. So she was always on high alert at all times. And I know at them volleyball games, a lot of times I was somewhere away working, and so I didn't always get to make a lot of them. But she was there, and she would, if something went down, but she would call me and be messed up about it because, like I say, feeling helpless. And I know that just did something to her. But she was always there, your number one fan.
Yes, she was. I'm gonna come to this game because they lights is funny.
She hated the games. That's one thing she hated. Being at school all day and then having to go to a game.
Go to the game. She pissed. You want me to go? You gonna be mad if I don't go? Yeah, but I mean, you obviously don't want to go, so I'm gonna go. Okay.
She was gonna go the whole time.
She was gonna go the whole time. Yeah, it was gonna go the whole time. But you paused on that. Did you have anything else to add?
No, I just wanted to touch on that and how, I know there's
I tried to rush past it.
other parents know that feeling, and that's just a rough feeling to be in a position where your child is suffering and there's nothing you can do. You just feel helpless, and you just sometimes you just freak out. You just be like, man, just chalk it up. You pray about it and hope you get better, because it's just a tough feeling.
Yeah, it's because it's like we can't control anything, and nobody's giving us a clear diagnosis, so we just.
Oh, I remember. You know what? That takes me back. I was working up here. I'm in Evansville, Indiana now, and I was working. I was working with a different contractor, Hinkles, up here at the time, and something had happened with you. You had a blood vessel bust in your eye or something. You was bleeding out the eye.
When my eye was bleeding.
Oh, man. Your mama called me and was like, Kiara bleeding out the eye. We going to the hospital. I was I think I might have been in the air working. I boomed that truck down. I said, I got to go. They was like, where you going? I said, my daughter bleeding out the eye. I don't know what the hell going on, but I got to get to Illinois right now.
She had just got the Taurus, the new car.
Black Taurus.
We had dropped Mari off at wherever, Shawnee Daycare or whatever. And I was sitting in the car and I had felt this weird feeling in my nose. So I was like, oh, I might have like a booger or something. So I just did a little flick and I felt something like pop. It didn't feel, I was like, oh, something's wrong. And instantly, blood shooting out in mommy's new car. And I'm like, Mom, like it's just coming out. Like I don't get nosebleeds, so I don't even know what to do. And she like, oh, hold on a second. So we pull up to the school. The car is new and it's got like the little auto lock feature. So she don't know how to work it yet. So she gets out, leaves the car on, leaves the doors open, runs around to my side to get me out, and then it goes to the nurse. And that's when we saw my eyes. The blood had, ear, nose, and throat. Anyways, the blood had somehow got into my eye. And so it looked like I was bleeding out the eyes, literally. And the nurse was like, oh, that's not good. You should probably take her to the hospital. So we get back in the already running car that mommy never turned off. And Uncle Bob, he had his motorcycle accident. So
he had his turkey wing going on.
Yeah, he was like, I'll ride with you. And he took forever. I'm glad I wasn't bleeding out because this man took about 30 minutes to get ready. He ain't no time for nothing. And my mom was sitting there like, Bob, come on. So she puts her hazards on. She tells him, don't fall asleep. Don't fall asleep. I'm like, I'm not sleepy, but okay. Like, and then we get there and they like, oh, you did so-and-so. We're going to carterize it. So they burned something. And I was like, what? Can I just have a normal experience, please?
Hey, that it's funny. This is another tangent.
Hey, that's what we're here for.
Take me back to when we was living in Metropolis. I had that white Cadillac.
I just got my brand new jogging suit, and it was cute. And we got to backtrack because
that morning, I guess she ate what you
Mommy had a bad
honey
Mommy had
Cheerios.
A bad habit.
We ain't gonna talk about your mama bad habits. We're not gonna talk about your mama bad habits.
But we are gonna talk about what caused this situation. She would say something would be past date, and she'd be like, "Oh, it's just a day or two. You'll be good." So the milk was a day or two past due, and I had my cereal or whatever. Put on my cute little jogging suit. I think it was the black and blue one. We ride in the Cadillac.
We in the Cadillac. We clean. You in the back seat.
We went to Shoe Carnival. I wasn't feeling good at Shoe Carnival. I tried the upchuck in the bathroom at Shoe Carnival. Nothing came out. I was like, okay. So we get in the car, and I'm like, man, I really don't feel good.
We at the stoplight.
What did you say? You said, if you feel like you're going to throw up, let me know, and I'll stop. I said, I don't know, I'm going to
Man, when I tell you, you had stuff over that car, I was like, oh my, and that stuff reeks.
Look, and was apologizing. I'm sorry. I threw up on my new clothes and in the car.
Oh, shoot. Oh, man. That was a time right there. That was a time.
I hope my kids don't ever have to have this experience.
Oh, yeah. They gonna have it.
I ain't gonna know how to handle it. I'll be like, what are you doing? Can you come sit down?
You might on the first child. The second child, it won't be that way.
Ooh, yeah, that was.
Yeah, that's the.
Tell me when you stop so I can.
I had just got the car washed. We was riding clean. We had the XM satellite radio adapter thing hooked up to the factory.
Yeah, that was definitely a back in the day moment there. Oh yes, gosh, indeed. That just brought back hella memories. Oh, that is hilarious. But
so what did I tangent off? What was you talking about?
I don't even remember. I think I was shifting my focus though. I shifted my focus from sports.
From sports, yeah, you started on the academics.
Yep, I ain't gonna get too deep, but basically I was a nerd. I was definitely one of those, like, it was only 27 kids in our class, but I
Y'all
had
only 27?
Mm-hmm. Only 26 came to graduation. It's crazy. Then CJ had like over 1,000 kids in his class. And
we grew up in rural Southern Illinois. It just,
population 700. That's what the sign say. I think it used to say. But I was like, it's 27 kids in our class, but I want to be number one when we graduate. So that was my goal for freshman year. I was like, I'm gonna be valedictorian. Long story, not so long. I had a very mean math teacher who did not want to teach me math, and he gave me a B, and so that knocked me out of my valedictorian run. Even though it was an 89.4, and I was like, if you just move it to 5, it'll round to 90, and I can. But he was like, no, you don't deserve it. I was like, all right, I got something for you.
He told you that?
He was like, you should have worked for it. I was like, you didn't even teach, so I don't even know why we here. But anyways, I was in Beta Club, which was a community service national organization, which I was.
Did you hold any offices in that particular organization? Hold your mule.
So let me list them. I was president of my Beta Club chapter. I ran for Illinois state secretary, and I won. I had a State Farm themed commercial. It was like a good beta. Kiara is there. And then somebody was Jake from State Farm, but they was Kiara from Beta Club. And then I ran at the national level, lost because Illinois didn't carry that much weight at National Beta Club conventions as other schools. And just so happened while I was there, I met CJ.
Okay,
that's like that's my biggest Beta Club accomplishment.
You found your husband at your Beta Club conference. So the national conference, is that the one we came to in Greensboro when you gave that speech? And Mari
no, so that was junior Beta. It was Greensboro, yeah, but that was junior Beta. Because I was also junior Beta secretary, and I ran for junior Beta office in Greensboro, which we kind of referenced, I think, in a previous episode.
Yeah.
Man, it was only like 4 of us that ended up going from our club, which was hilarious. So there was 3 people in my skit, and it was how sweet it would be to vote for Kiki. And they was dressed like cupcakes, and it was so cute. And I lost. My speech was great, but I lost.
Speech, though, when boy, you gave that speech, I think you had people crying. I don't know exactly what you said, but I know.
I don't even remember the speech.
Mari was a baby. Mari was like, if they don't vote for my sister, I'm gonna be mad.
Stupid.
They stupid.
And man, was she hot when I did not win.
Oh, she was ready to.
Everybody that didn't vote for my sister is stupid. I'm like, oh, it's okay. I really didn't want to win. I just want to come out here and have a good time. She cried more than me, and I'm like, shoot, I'm relieved I didn't win. I didn't want them to.
She was hot, boy.
Everybody in here who didn't vote for my sister, you're stupid. I was like, yeah, that's my rider right there. I got my.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so I lost 2 times, but I don't care because I got a really. Beta Club was like one of the best things to happen to me, and not just because I met CJ, but it was really like a catalyst in my journey to want to be like a leader, not be a leader in a sense, but have leadership qualities.
Have leadership qualities.
Yeah, and just be a good person in general. Because like we used to do things like go bingo with the people in assisted living.
Yeah.
Like our community was small, but the things that we did really made a big impact. Like I would have my regulars who I would go see at bingo, and I remember one passed away, and that hurt me. I was like, where's she at? And they was like, oh, she's not here no more.
Went to the upper room.
Oh. I can't come back to these no more because I get attached too quick. But yeah, just all the volunteer work and knowing the impact that we had on the community, like that's just seeing that one small action from me could help make somebody's day a little better. Like that definitely pushed me to be like, okay, this area is I'm bigger. I need to go. I need to get out of here because I need to do something somewhere bigger. And that's kind of what drove me to want to go to school. To look at schools, out of state and very far away. Like I was like, I don't want to be a a hop, skip, and a drive away.
Yeah.
From y'all. Like, I don't want no pop-ups, so I'm gonna go as far away as I can. And everybody's like, nobody ever leaves Southern Illinois and don't come back. I was like, watch me.
Yeah, and I remember them days, and I used to be like, what do you want to do? You used to tell me, Daddy, I'm going away, and I want to go to HBCU. I've been at the PWI through all my life. I want to go to HBCU. I said, hey, well, let's figure it out. Whatever you want, that's what we're gonna do. And
yep.
We started out at Howard.
Got my
I remember we went to NCAT because that was your first choice.
Yep.
I remember that. That was and I'm gonna talk about this because I still feel some type of way about this. You wanted to go to NCAT. You did everything. You got accepted. Oh, got a little money on the table too. Not a lot. Got a little money, and then you applied to Howard, and Howard was give you a little more money.
And in theory, but in practice, it was not. Now, I do the math.
What it was cracked up to be.
No,
but
it's a scam, y'all.
Yeah. So, but I felt like I kind of pushed you to Howard.
Oh, you definitely did, but not. It wasn't in a. That push as like a negative connotation.
Well, that's how I take it. It's like I pushed you there. And
why? Because of my experience that I had?
No, just because the whole thing, like it wasn't your first choice.
I mean, it was a choice though. Like I was upset at the time, but it wasn't like because honestly, like when we got the scholarship notification, first of all, I was going to A&T until Howard sent that scholarship. Like I had committed to A&T, and literally it was like April 4th. It was like right after commitment day or whatever. And I remember it because I was in Miss Holzhauser's computer lab, and I saw the email pop up. They was like, congratulations. And I was like, what is this? So I opened it, and it was like, you received this scholarship, which it had a dollar amount on it, which I think was like, you get like a $30,000 scholarship per year. And we like, oh, like $30,000, like that's paying for school. You like I was so mad when I got that email. I almost didn't tell anybody, but they had emailed mommy too, because I was like, they gonna make me go to Howard. But I got the scholarship, and I ended up going, and I had a really good time. But I was like, this school is not for me. Like I gave it a shot, and I think that was one of the first things I ever quote unquote gave up on. And I don't think I would.
You didn't give up on it. You just shifted. You shifted.
I shifted. Yeah, but that was like, I was like, all right, I made it 2 years, but I don't think I could do another year. It's just not. It's not. I feel so out of place here, and I was like, DC, everything here is just not for me. So, I went back to where home is. Went to good old North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University, Aggie Pride. And enjoyed my last 2 years there, where I graduated magna cum laude, ran my own business all through college. What else did I do? I've done a lot. I got intern of the year, national intern of the year. I interned in Los Angeles, California, my summer, my freshman year, which is, I think back on that, y'all, that was not a good parenting decision to let me go.
Why not? Why do you say such thing?
Okay, I'll say that it was not. You know how now we do a lot of like research and discovery before we make decisions, but then it was just kind of like, oh, you got an internship in LA, and I was like, yeah, I'm going. And then y'all was like, bet. Like nobody even was like, LA is kind of far. Everybody was like, yes, go fly, go be great. And then I get to LA, and I'm subleasing this apartment for $900. And I'm only making $500 a month in my internship. And I'm like, the math isn't math. And then I got to be here for 2 more months. And then my roommates, I'm pretty sure they was doing cocaine every night. I just stayed in my room. I was like.
The things I found out years later.
Maybe not. I think I called somebody else. But
yeah, you probably called somebody else.
Was getting like really, the guy, he would. I know it was cocaine. I saw the white stuff on the table, and he would be just at night, just hitting the walls and stuff.
Oh yeah,
and I was like,
shit.
I said, he come in here, I got something for him. And I had a metal like pipe thing. I forgot where I got it from, but I had it, and I was like, if he come in here, but he never disturbed me. But he did keep a dirty ass kitchen, and that was disgusting. I barely ate while I was in LA. All that to say, yeah, I don't think that anybody did any good research before you let me go.
Well, hey, I'm gonna tell you where I'm
experience.
I'm gonna tell you what my stance was. I was just excited. You was telling me you was going to LA to do an internship, just like you said. It's like I was getting whatever information I got it from you. So whatever you told me, it's like, you know me. I'm like, hey, I'm the wind beneath your wings. Let's go make it happen. If that's what you want to do, if that's what you want to do, let's do it.
And I had the greatest time. Like, it was, I say that it wasn't the best parenting decision just because nobody was like doubtful, except maybe Grandma Janice, who would probably be like, don't get kidnapped. And but everybody else was like, go be free. And I went out there and I had to learn how to use the bus system. I had to learn all this stuff, but you know, me being a super planner, I actually found my apartment right next to the bus stop that would take me directly to my job. So I was literally going on a bus, getting back on the bus. Like me and the bus driver was cool.
You had adapted, man. You came from small town Illinois. You went to DC and for 2 years. Then you went to LA on an internship where you was making peanuts. You did,
man. I hustled.
Yeah, you took it a lot further than I did, because, I mean, I didn't go past UT Martin. At first I got was a Michael Jordan camp.
Hey, how big did you know the world to be, though? Were you exposed to LA possibilities?
No.
Right. So, like, for me, it's like, even though I was getting paid peanuts, the experience and the skills that I learned there, I still carry with me to this day. I'll never forget. Sankara was my video manager. I was a video production intern, and he taught me all these cool video editing tricks that I still do, literally with this podcast sometimes to this day. And every now and then, like, I go check on, I feel like, how he doing? He works for another company now, but he was so dope. So and I got to write my own film. Sorry, what?
So I was going to say, you know, life lesson, that just goes to show you that money should not be your main motivator in things, because all money ain't good money. And if money is your main motivator in whatever you're doing, if money is your main motivator, you need to reevaluate what you got going on, because you need to be doing something that's worth more than just the money. Don't get me wrong. Everybody like having X amount of dollars in their pocket, X amount of dollars in their bank account, X amount of dollars in their 401ks and, you know, pension plans and all that stuff. That's great. But it's not your main motive. It shouldn't be your main motivator.
Yeah, what Kanye West say, money's not everything, not having it is. So when you got the money, it's cool. But when you ain't got it, sometimes you got to find that balance. Yeah. And that's kind of, I'm kind of past that now in life. But that's kind of how I looked at it back then. I'm like, okay, the skills that I'm learning right now are going to pay off in the future. This is an investment in myself. So, you know, I can struggle. I can eat salads every day. I can walk everywhere, get all the fresh fruit groceries, and be in my little 1-bedroom, my little piece of the apartment. And it was very lonely.
That's something that I kind of wish that I would have had a little bit more experience in growing up in my college years. Is like
what? Internships?
Getting experiences. I mean, I had experiences that have helped stay with me and helped me through life, but being exposed to bigger and better things. I guess for what I was doing, I was exposed to what I was supposed to be exposed to, because I don't know. I always feel like I didn't have somebody that was pushing me and encouraging me the way that I tried to do you. Like in you, I always made a point to support you, be attentive to what you had going on, and just not put any of my, if I had any fears, not project those fears onto you. I always wanted to encourage you to, hey, you decide what you do with your life. You figure, don't worry about what I did. Even when we was talking about playing sports earlier, I know you heard, you know, you and Nelson this, Nelson that. I never tried to do that to you. I was like,
it was never from you, which is the funny part. Because you're like, man, she ain't on this. And I'm like, I don't know why y'all asking him.
I used to always tell people,
say no.
I used to always tell people it's up to her. I'm not going to push her, but if she come to me and say, Dad, I want to play, then I'm going to give her everything I got to give her in that particular sport. And, you know, neither one of you guys decided to play basketball, which I'm very fine with, especially with you, because you know, you decided to take your talents and do other things. That's great. Mari she's going to be doing the same thing, hopefully. Time's still out on her. She's just a freshman, so she's got time to blaze her own path. Yeah, she is. And that can, like, switching back to my path.
Let's pause. Rewind back to you, sir.
Where we at? UT Martin?
Yeah. The UT Martin. You left to give Gator Jones some more PT.
Yeah, got to Martin. You know, I had a fracture in my ankle my first year, so I had to sit out.
Really?
Yeah, not most of the year, about the second part of the year. Had a bout with some back spasms. Man, them things are the worst. Back spasms, yeah. Just kind of like your thing with the headaches at the volleyball games. I would be in a game and just running down the court and then just fall in the middle of the floor from like debilitating pain. You can't do nothing.
Can't even.
Oh, it was the worst. But I had this trainer, Linda Barker. Shout out to Linda. She followed me on Facebook to this day.
Hey, Linda.
Linda was an amazing trainer. She used to take care of me. She took care of me. Her and her
staff. Get this back massage, sir.
Yeah, she used to take care of me. She was good at what she does. The one, let's see, I ran into some guys other guys that ended up going to the NBA outside of Tyrone. He was probably the first that I played against that ended up going to the NBA. And that was in high school, like we talked about. When I got to college, they had this guy, Austin P. had this guy, Charles Bubba Wells. Shout out to Bubba Wells.
That is a hell of a name.
Hey, when I tell you that man could do that thing on the court, that boy could shoot. I seen him do some of the craziest shit. Like, we was playing them, we had this guard, Ryan On. Shout out to Ghost. I'm about to put you on blast, man. But Ghost was our point guard. Somehow or another, he turned the ball over. Him and Bubba Wells was going down the court, side by side. Charles had the ball. Charles got down there by his goal. He palmed the ball off the dribble. He put his hand on Ryan's head and went up and dunked that damn basketball. And Bubba Wells got a picture of him doing this dunk. I saw him. I ran into him at Red Lake a couple years ago, and we reconnected up there, and he sent me this picture. I wish I had it right now. And I was like, oh shit. It was the craziest thing we seen. It was crazy.
He put his hand
on his head and
used him as a lift.
Kind of like a lift. He didn't need to, but yeah, kind of. And flushed it. It was crazy. Shout out to Ghost, but well, you know, crazy thing happened today. Where was I at? I was after work. I was sitting in my truck, and I get a phone call. When I first got to Martin, they had a guy that was playing ball down there. His name was Dwayne Poupal. And Poupal was my first roommate at Martin. And I'm sitting in my truck today, and out the blue, I get a phone call. Poupal. I hadn't talked to Pooh in like 2 years, because I think it's like 2 or 3 years ago he got inducted into UT Martin's Hall of Fame, because he was really good. Like, he was a really good player. He played all 4 years there, and he was a good player. And he called me today out the blue, man. We just talked. We talked about 20 minutes, And I hadn't seen, like I say, I hadn't seen him since he got inducted into the UT Martin Hall of Fame a few years ago. We went down for homecoming. Him, DeMarco, Will, and Hamp, we all showed up and supported him. That was the last time we all were together down there, and it was good seeing them guys. But yeah, I had a lot of good experiences at UT Martin. The one that stands out above them all.
I feel like I know what you're finna say.
What am I finna say?
Is it involve your father?
No, that is not so. I said stand out. I didn't say most embarrassing. Okay, since you brought it up, we might as well talk about it. So, growing up, you know, we grew up Hebrew Israelites down on the farm. And when we started playing sports, going to games, you know, one of the things, we didn't eat pork, we didn't do holidays, all this stuff. And something else we didn't do. We didn't stand up for the national anthem. Hey, regardless of how you feel about it, we was Colin Kaepernick before Colin Kaepernick. And we didn't do it. We always tried to be respectful about it. Even though a lot of people look at it as being disrespectful, that was not the goal. It was just you sit there quietly. I used to pray. Kind of like Mahmoud Abdul Rauf, who's got he lost his whole career behind, you know, his stance on his beliefs versus, you know, standing up for the national anthem. So he was really Colin Kaepernick before Colin Kaepernick. But anyway, it was a whole community of us that we didn't stay. I'm not saying this to brag or none of that stuff. No. That's just the way we was raised. It wasn't out of disrespect. If my grandfather, if he got word that you was talking or doing anything while that national anthem was playing, boy, it was hell to pay. So that was something that we just did not do because it was disrespectful to be disruptive while it was going on. That's how we was raised.
Right.
Now, after my generation, there was some people, you know, they did things differently, but that's the way we was brought up. But anyway, I say that to say this. One of my first year at Martin, we go to play the University of Kentucky. Yes, ooh. The UK Wildcats. I think it was the year.
And y'all can guess the end of this game.
We ain't gonna talk about the score. We ain't gonna talk about the score.
That's not maybe the story.
But that ain't the point.
Where you can pull it back. We refocusing.
Anyway, my dad, who pushed the narrative as I'm growing up, we don't stand for the national. You don't do none of that. All right, Dad, cool.
I went to jail.
Yeah.
I said, go to the army.
We conscientious objective. We don't go to the military. We don't do this. We don't do a bunch of shit, according to Dad. We don't do nothing. Hell, let him tell us. We don't go to college. We don't do nothing. We don't do nothing. But that was him. Anyway, we get the University of Kentucky Wildcats, Rupp Arena. One of my very first Division I college basketball games. I'm nervous as a whole in church because I don't stand for the national anthem. But I'm cool because I got my parents right behind me.
Who also ain't gonna stand.
And I know they ain't gonna stand. So we talked it over with my coach. My coach understood. He was cool with it. We didn't make no waves. It was just, you know, BJ, y'all, that's what he do. Don't bother him. He ain't gonna bother you. All right, coach. So I'm sitting there. The national anthem playing, I'm shaking, I'm sweating. I turn around to get some reassurance. I see my mother crying, sitting down. I see your mama sitting next to her. I see Skip sitting next to her. And who the hell standing up with his damn hat over his heart? My daddy. Like, what in the Sam Hill is going on? Like, you talk about a whole hypocrite. Like, dude, what are you doing? Like, you talk to this man. He came to the house and you sat in front of him and told him this shit. And now when... God darn. When I said...
Yeah, sit down. And he said, not me.
It was at that moment that my perspective of my daddy changed quite a bit. and I started looking at him differently. It was at that moment, like things changed between him and I. Cause I'm like, how you got
a very defining moment.
My mother is over here crying.
She was crying.
She was crying because his ass was standing up. Like, what are you doing? Like, you have taught this boy this, his brothers. You've had fits over this stuff their whole entire lives. And now
at this basketball game,
you in front. I know what it was because I've experienced it. It's that heat. When you
wipe the pressure, the social pressure.
It's just that heat. You feel a heat because something inside of you is like you should be standing up, and then that thing that you was raised on is telling you no, you sitting down. So it's an internal heat that goes on. I've experienced it many times.
I have too. Yeah, that's crazy.
It is like, whew. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, even when we me and CJ, we went to a NASCAR race, and a NASCAR. You know, the audience, they do national anthem at the beginning also. And before we went to the game, see, it was for his job. So his job was there. He was like, hey, you know, he was like, if they stand, can you stand? Like, can we stand? And he was like, because the guys I work with, they served and I really respect, you know, what they, I was like, yeah, I stand with you. I said, I'm not putting my hand on my heart, but I stand. And so, like, that's what I do now because it got to a point where, especially in Southern Illinois, you stand one too many times and you get in some eyes. And just for the sake of no conflict, I would stand and I would just have my hands behind we used to get on our knee. Like, we would kneel, not one knee, but like both knees, hands behind our backs. And we would just sit there. And because I remember a few times people would be like, you didn't stand. And I'm like, first of all, if you see me not stand, your focus is on the wrong
thing. If you paying attention to me during that time, you're looking at the wrong thing.
Yep. And so that was kind of my thing. Like, I was like, somebody asked me one day, though, they were like, why don't you? And that was when I kind of shifted because I couldn't give them a reason. I was just like, well, that's just been what I've been raised to do. And it was like, that was kind of a moment where I was like, I should probably start thinking for myself at some point. Like, because they probably have their reasons why they don't do it, but I don't share those same reasons at this very moment. And like I said, I don't put my hand on my heart, but if we are somewhere, especially in these times now,
you just got to be careful.
Just gotta be careful and looking out for. And sometimes it's not worth trying to. Not that we was doing it to make a statement, but it's not. It's not worth it.
It's scary because you know scary. The time we went to see Mari perform at Shawnee College, and me and your mama was sitting up. We tried to sit opposite end of where the flag was at, in the corner, minding our own business. And then, and that man. They almost went to jail that night when your mama, she was finna tear that man throat out his neck.
There's a Facebook post too.
Yeah.
Somewhere, mommy then took a picture of the man.
And he turned around talking about, at least you can do is clap. And I'm like, man, look, you just need to mind your business. Go on about your business because your attention does not need to be over here.
And that sounds a little slave master-ish, sir.
He hurry up and shifted his focus real quick, like. But yeah, that was creepy. But and speaking on that, like, you know, we was raised the way we were raised, right, wrong, however. I've always held that, you know, once a child gets a certain age, he or she should start, you know, forging their own path. Yeah, what we teach you is the foundation, but when you get a certain age and you acquire more information, more knowledge, then you take that and you design for yourself how you gonna do it. I feel that way about religion, all that stuff. Same thing, like, because I mean, that's something that I didn't really focus on growing up was religion. We used to go to Bible class and stuff. I can't sit here and tell you that I pay attention, that I focus. I know the difference between right and wrong. You know, I don't be out here trying to get over on people and just be lying or no stuff like that. Now, am I perfect? No. But I don't just blatantly set out to be doing nobody wrong. And I think in your heart of hearts, people know that you just make a conscious decision to do crazy shit if you do crazy shit. But on to the highlight of my experiences at UT Martin was probably when I got to go to the Michael Jordan camp and work the Michael Jordan camp. It doesn't seem like a big
deal. How did you get that? No, that's a big deal.
So, Coach, I'm at home in May, like on a little break, summer break.
Mm-hmm.
And I get a call from Coach Bob Ward. Shout out Coach Ward. Hey, what are you doing? Nothing, Coach. You gonna go work Michael Jordan camp? Are you talking to me? Like at the time, like
you know, talking to me? BJ Nelson.
You know, this is me, right? Like
it's BJ Nelson, Michael Jordan lover and supporter.
He said, I know it's you. He said, that's why I'm calling. I know you want to go. I said, yeah, I'm there. He said, yeah, we got a recruit up there. He said, Hamp's gonna come meet you at your house. I'm like, Hamp going too? So yeah, Oswego Harper, Dr. Hamp Harper. Shout out to my man Hamp. Yeah, he came up to Illinois. I think Coach brought him to the house. And then Fari, of all people, drove me and him to Chicago, to Elmhurst College. And we spent 5 days working Michael Jordan camp. And Michael Jordan was there every day. And we got to do some kind of interaction. I'm talking about personal. I ain't talking about him talking to the crowd. I'm talking about me and him. Me, him, and him. We giving each other shit every day at the camp. I have been punched.
Did he bet you for any money? Did he set up any bets?
I have been punched by Michael Jordan in the ribs. That's like a real...
Michael Jordan, you better hope I don't ever see you, because we're going to have to throw some hands.
Hey, no, you don't got to throw no hands. I was excited when that man punched me, man. You couldn't tell me nothing. I was holding
Ooh, I'm gonna punch.
Hey, that's exactly how it was. I was holding...
Look, you went to school the next year. Oh, my ribs hurt because I got punched by Michael Jordan.
Why you gotta take it one step too far.
No, because you know that's
just like somebody else I know.
They get a little accomplishment, not little. They get a fun moment, and then they, you know, it hurt right here because I got punched by Michael Jordan. No, but that's a cool experience. I mean, even I, the 6 degrees of separation. Even I worked his Nike event in Charlotte, and got to see him. I didn't get to really talk to him, but got to wear his newer shoes for free. Got to keep them. Got to do a lot of community service, kind of back to what I was saying, for the kids during NBA All-Star Weekend when it was in Charlotte. So that was, I mean, he, like I said, I was in the same room with him, and it was just cool to be in his presence.
Yeah, I tell you what, it was some of the craziest stuff I've seen from some adults. Like the kids were cool. Kids, they get excited. It's Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
But that one day, they had invited the parents of all the little kids that came to the camp in, and Michael did a talk. And after the talk, all the camp counselors, which were the college basketball players, we provided Jordan bodyguard service to get out the gym through the sea of parents to his Range Rover that was sitting outside. Man, when I tell you, these people, some of those people was just wanting to touch this man.
Yeah, that's creepy.
Then you had the opportunists. They had business cards they trying to slip him.
Okay.
And then you had the little grandmas out there. They just, it's Michael Jordan.
Anybody trying to sign his basketball? Can you sign this?
He had a whole autograph session. So all that stuff was passed. This was just escorting him through that sea of people out to his car so he could go play golf. And we was working our way through the crowd, and this little old lady, that lady had to be about 80 years old. She was in the middle of all them people. She just wanted to touch Michael. And she touched him because he kind of grabbed her in front of us. And he kind of pushed it. He said, all right, old lady, get on out the way. And we eased him on through there. When we got him outside, I said, Mr. Jordan, I said, you think I could be part of your security detail? I was trying to get the job. He said, man, he said, you couldn't handle it. He said, you see that right there? He said, that wasn't nothing. The places I go, it'd be a madhouse. He said, it shit'll scare you to death. I said, well, you probably right, because I'll be ready to shoot somebody if they get out of control.
Yeah,
but yeah,
protect Jordan.
Yeah, that was my probably highlight. Well, I guess getting my degree was pretty cool too, because at the end of the day, I did get free education I did get my.
So you completed your goal. What you get your degree in? What the audience wants to know.
They don't care, but I got it in psychology with a minor in business.
I feel like that's you.
What's me?
Psychology with a minor in business.
You know it's
like you have a very psychological insight on things sometimes, especially now that you're in therapy, and the business aspect, that runs through our blood. So it's really cool that you I didn't know you minored in business, but I knew you majored in psychology.
Yeah.
Did you have any plans for that, or you was just like, I'm just here?
Absolutely not. I just wanted to make sure I got some sheepskin. That was the goal.
Oh, you could have messed around and been a journalism student. They say communication, one of the easiest majors.
That's what they said that about psychology, but when I got to that damn statistics class, I was like, y'all lied.
Statistics to anybody is a hot mess.
Man, that was a whole adventure right there. Me and that professor almost got into a squabble because he did some discriminatory stuff one day. Mm. Let me tell you about it real quick.
What his name?
Dr. David.
What his name?
I ain't gonna say his name, but
let me go.
That joker.
Send him some glitter. Send him a glitter bomb.
Nah, I don't know if he was old then, so
is he still with us?
I don't know. I have no idea. That's been
all right. Well, I won't speak ill on the possible dead, but he know what he did.
Shout out to David Gibson. He ended up being a pretty cool professor, but he did do some discriminatory stuff towards me. I felt that I couldn't do nothing about. It was tough. I just had to take the class over. It was tough.
I feel like you've told me that story before.
I probably did.
I think you did.
Yeah, it was about a calculator.
Yes.
Yeah, that I had misplaced my calculator, which was irresponsible, no doubt. No doubt. He had a policy. If you misplace your calculator, you don't come to class with the calculator for the midterm. I ain't giving you a calculator. You just basically gonna flunk the midterm. Mm-hmm. So I did that. I didn't misplace it. I had let somebody use it and I forgot to get it the day of the exam. And I paid for it. I own my stuff. I own my shit. I paid for it. So when I took the class again, he had the same policy. But this little girl
who was not of
little girl,
she was not a black skin,
walked up to him with tears in her eyes, talking about how she forgot her calculator, and he went in his desk while looking at me.
Oh.
While looking at me.
I gotta play devil's advocate here once you finish.
While looking at me and gave her a calculator to use during the midterm. And I was like, you motherfucker. No, I said, you motherfucker, like that.
You mouthed it to him?
I mouthed it to him, you motherfucker, like that. And he knew exactly what the hell I was talking about.
What was the look that he gave you? Was it...
What you mean the look?
See me?
He had one look.
So I'm going to play devil's advocate here because it's just how people be. What if he was had a thing for the girl?
He might have.
Yeah, he was looking at you because he like, oh, I'm about to get this to her, but he know I don't do this, so he gonna see me a different way. Oh,
I don't know.
Let me look at BJ. Hopefully he don't see me looking at him.
That ain't my concern. All I know.
And then you said and he said, oh, he knows that I'm dating a girl. Oh, it's over.
I don't know.
My wife.
I don't know about none of that. All I know is he gave her a calculator during that midterm, and he wouldn't give me one during the previous time I took that class. But that's neither here. I passed the class with damn. I guess if I would have put a little more effort toward the class the first time, I probably wouldn't even have to go through all that because I was fucking off the first time. I ain't gonna lie. But the second time I locked in and ended up getting an A out of the class. So
come on, A.
Yeah.
First you don't succeed.
Just part of my life experience. Anywho, you got anything else you want to
talk? Yes, I did want to kind of, since we're on the topic of sports, I did want to just shout out. We've been talking a lot of local, references lately. I really just wanted to shout out, is it Roderick Gatewood Jr.? The basketball player,
Robert, Meridian, for hitting that shot last night.
Meridian. I mean, he's just in general, just watching like his updates from afar. Like, I'm just amazed by the kid. And I saw the video this morning, and I was like,
that was pretty dope.
You got triple team and still made the 3 to win the game.
That was an amazing shot. He broke
the record, like Meridian's all-time scoring record. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah,
when you know who's on that record, that's amazing.
He's pretty special. I'm not seeing him places. I think I know I saw him play in junior high, but I'm not attending many games. I know they won last night on that last second shot, and that was in the sectional. And this taping, they played Friday night, which is tomorrow night, in the super sectional, and people are abuzz about Meridian possibly going to state again. I know the last time they went to state, my nephews, your cousins, Tyrone Nesby Jr. and Byron Nesby, along with the coach who's coaching them now, David Davis.
Shout out to David.
What's my man, the other little good dude named Grinchlam's son? DJ. They took that team and got second in state. I remember Aaron Griffin was the coach.
Good team.
Yeah, we followed them extensively that year.
That's when I skipped school. I was so excited to skip school.
Yeah, we
to go
Peoria,
play.
Watching them play in the state tournament.
So
excited. So good luck to the Bobcats, man. Hopefully anytime any team from our area, makes it to that level, we get excited for them. Even though we not Bobcats at heart, but we try to support those that are around us that are being successful. So shout out to them.
And one thing about Southern Illinois now, they're going to come together for Southern Illinois. We might bump heads town to town, county to county, but you go up past Anna and below. I don't know about Anna. I'm going to say Dongola and below.
You got some supporters in Anna too.
They have progressive. I'll give them that. But they still stand by that acronym. But anyway, they are very supportive.
You gonna get us canceled by Southern Illinois?
If they mad, it's because it's true. It's in the history book.
It's a sundown town. There ain't no doubt about it.
It still is. It's still marked as a sundown.
Oh, I always shop in Anna after the sun go down. What are you talking about?
Well, that's because you was an acceptable one. You announced.
Stop it.
On that note, no, I think this is good at a point. So thank you guys so much for listening to Daddy Daughter Dishes. If you enjoyed this episode, you know what we want you to do. Go on Apple Podcasts, give us a 5-star review, and leave us a little review as to why you like it. Don't just hit the 5 stars. Leave a little comment. You could just say, shout out to 3D, and we'll appreciate it. And we might read it on the show.
That's right.
And if you want to share anything relative to the show, or you want to give a shout out to anybody who might have a certain impact on your life that you think about when you listen to the show, send us an email at daddydaughterDishes@gmail.com. Let us know, and we might read it on here as well.
That's right.
If you would like to enjoy us physically, like see our faces, you could go on youtube.com/daddydaughter-dishes, and we will pop up. You can see our cool faces because we look good. We sound good, but we look even better. And yeah, you guys listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And Daddy, you got any final words before I deliver?
I just want to, just do what we always try to do on every episode, is just thank each and every one of you guys, whoever's listening, whoever's watching. Thanks for supporting us, giving us thumbs up. We are very appreciative. We really enjoy doing this podcast, and we just appreciate the support, man. I hope y'all continue to tune in, because we're going to continue to do it.
Absolutely. You better hop on, because this bus is going with or without you. So get on in and click 5 stars when you do.
That's right.
So, Dad,
what's up?
What I have for you today?
You got a dad joke?
I do.
I want to hear it.
Okay, here we go. Last episode's good. Whoa, wait, pause. Okay, so I guess I should say special announcement. That's a question of we are going to move to weekly episodes.
Uh-oh.
This is studio.
I'm so glad to hear that because this 2 weeks shit is driving me crazy.
Yes, I just had to get, I just had to get my personal bearings good, but now I'm good.
I got people on my ass talking about, hey man, when the next episode dropping? We getting text messages.
Man,
threatening messages.
Yeah, hassling me.
Yeah. I'm glad he sent it though.
No, I was cracking up. I said, he said, Miss Lau, it's gotta put some respect on your name. I said, it's a lot of talking from two people who don't do no editing.
And what I say? I asked to take the editing course.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
But yeah, that's good.
We got some conditions that we're going to need to talk about behind the scene though, because I have requests, which you kind of probably already know about. But anyways, gonna wrap this up. But I have something for you today.
What you got?
I have a dad joke.
Let's go.
Okay. Where do rainbows go when they are bad?
Where do rainbows go when they are bad? Where do rainbows go when they are bad?
Prism, but it's a light sentence.
Oh my God. Prism, but it's a light sentence.
But it's a light sentence. What's that, like a double entendre?
Oh my God.
We'll see you guys later.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for listening. We'll see you guys next time on Daddy Daughter Dishes 3D, baby.